Cameras might be on. What's up, Facebook? I hope all of you guys are awesome. Hold on 1 second as I turn this audio on. Okay, we are recording here, so that means that's a good thing. Alrighty, welcome to Coffee is for Closers, episode number 19. We've been doing this quite a while now, and I'm very excited about today's topic. It's about how do you find clients. A lot of people have asked about it and have put in comments and questions down below. So today's signature recipe for you guys is all about how to find clients. So we are going to go over the cup of wisdom, the appetizer, how to broaden your taste buds when it comes to where you're going to go find your clients, think a latte, be addicting, and energy for the soul. And I want to put this out there to everybody that I help a lot of people that are selling services or a product or a coaching program of some sort from the range of about $3,000 in value to about $30,000, sometimes $50,000 in value. So if that is you, then this is the place for you to hang out with me every single week at 2 o'clock Pacific time. And we talk about all things sales, but as it relates to mostly that specific niche, okay? Now, everybody else that joins, you can join in too, because this all can apply to whatever you're selling. And again, my name is Michelle. I am the pitch queen. That is my name instead of Michelle for these shows, and also on my podcast, Success Unfiltered, that you can find on iTunes. And I've been selling a lot of stuff for a lot of years, but most recently, I've been focusing mostly on helping entrepreneurs that have been around a couple years and your sales get kind of flat or maybe stuck, and you're in that like $1 million range of business revenue, or maybe 2 million, and you're trying to double it, like get to 3 or get to 4. And a lot of it stems from your sales, right? Like your business revolves around your leads, your clients, referrals. I am the referral gal. And with all of my past experiences, I'm bringing to you what works and what I think maybe what doesn't work and what would serve you the best. So primarily right now, I'm working on high-level offers, aka high-ticket offers or high-value services or products, or high-value product services. So if you're in that range of something of $3,000 in value to $50,000, then I am your gal. Lately, I've been helping a lot of CPAs sell their high-level tax planning to their clients. So those have ranged anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 engagements. So that's a little bit about me. I had a business for 10 years called Fitzy Foods. I had closed it in March. We'll get to that at a different topic, and we talk a lot about that on Success Unfiltered, so you can pop on over and listen. But I've sold real estate, really expensive houses, mortgages, Nordstrom's, wardrobes at Nordstrom's, you know, like the personal shopping type stuff. I'm not really a great stylist, but I'm really good at that job. So I've also sold red chicken enchiladas and paleo meatballs and got them into Costco and the vitamin shop. So I've had a lot of experience, and my mission is how can I teach you what I know, and you can apply a lot of this in your own businesses so you can ultimately help more people and grow your top line revenues, because that's what this is all about, right? And big thank you to Liz Cortez. I saw you post the photo of your hat. So if you guys want to win one of my Coffee is for Closers hats, I don't know where it is. Oh, it's over there on the chair. I'll show you real quick. But here is the hat. So if you want to win one of these, all you have to do is 3 things, okay? And maybe I'll throw in a gift card, but the gift card, you're going to have to really go above and beyond. So I always love it if you guys could share this on your pages. If you like the content and you love what we're talking about, share this conversation with others. And you're going to have to pop on over to my Facebook page, The Pitch Queen, and hit the share button. In addition to that, if you can like and heart this episode, that'd be awesome. And then also put your comments in the below. So if you're on Instagram, put your questions below, put your comments below, ask me questions because we're going to get to them at the end, and that is my favorite part. So we're going to start and dive in on today's topic, which is, hello on Facebook, whoever is watching, which is, where do you find your clients? Where can you get new ones at? Where can you grow it? And I'm going to tell you everything that I know as it relates to finding new clients, utilizing your current clients to help you find new ones, because that is where the gold is. And we will get to that. So for those of you joining on Facebook, if you can hit the share and share it on your pages, that would be awesome. If you want to put some questions, put them in the comments below and then you can win one of these cool hats like Liz Cortez put on her page. I'll wear it a little bit longer, but I washed my hair this week too. Last week I washed my hair. When you have really long, thick hair, washing your hair is like a pain. And I don't enjoy it. I'd rather teach you guys on Facebook Live for 30 minutes than wash my hair. It's true. All right, to the slides we go. Nope, that's not them. This is GarageBand. It records the audio. Isn't that cool? All right, here we go. Any questions so far on Instagram? If you do have some, post them below, okay? This is what we're discussing today. I just talked about it. So, why have an ideal client? So before you can go find your clients, you need to find your ideal client, aka also known as the avatar. Who is that ideal person that you want to help, that you want to serve, that you want to change their lives? Maybe you're like Kevin and you're this awesome videographer and you're like a great editor and you've got all this awesomeness behind you, but who do you really want to help? Do you want to do weddings? Does Kevin want to do weddings? Does he want to find his clients? Does he want to work with entrepreneurs like me? Who do you want to work with? Because guess what? You get to pick. So I'm going to go over my ideal client so you understand where I'm coming from. Because when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. And this is from Meredith Hill. She's a sales professional. And I've been focusing, specifically on like a small niche. And one of my friends, Sean Croxton, says always, the riches are in the niches, and that I need to niche down even a little bit more. So, Sean, I am listening to you. I want to speak to a certain individual. And again, my individual has been an entrepreneur for a couple years. You're not a newbie. You're not just starting out, but you've been around. And typically when we start out, we're on like a really, really good path. And then after a couple years, we start to deviate off our path and forget what we did in the beginning that really worked. So that is my ideal client. They have a product or a service that ranges in the price point of $3,000 to $30,000. Last week it got up to $50,000. So that is my ideal focus, my ideal client, my ideal avatar. My avatar I speak to, which is all of you guys quite often. I get a lot of people that are men and women, but I speak to mostly a female. It's basically me where I was 6 years ago in my business. So figure out who your ideal client is. So with my example that we chatted about last week with Kevin does film. He's a videographer. He does probably photos. He went to film school. And what Kevin needs to do is figure out who does he want to work with. He gets to actually pick. And if you get to pick a really small niche, like maybe it's just female entrepreneurs that deal with finances. I'm making it up, but I'm getting you so you understand the specifics of it. I'll give you another example. I went to this coaching seminar situation yesterday, and there was a girl, and she does only coaching for people that are coming to the United States from a certain country. I can't remember, but we'll just call it Israel for today. And that's all she works with. Women who come from Israel that immigrate to this country that need to be coached on how to integrate their life with the American culture. Now, if you don't tell me that's specific, that is really specific. So what you want to do is also get to that specificity, because then you're going to know the next thing, which is where do you go and find your ideal clients? Where are they hanging out? Where are they hanging out online? Maybe they're hanging out at conferences. Where are they hanging out? So that gets us to our next thing, which is the appetizer. What do you sell? Who do you serve? And this is more than just like your products and service. This includes also the dream, right? You have to know what is the end goal for the client. So I'm going to give you an example of what I'm doing with some of these CPAs and helping their clients with high-level tax planning. We're going to use that as an example. So let's say you're a high net worth individual. You have a lot of different companies, very complicated taxes situation. You want to pay less to the IRS, the legal way. Then the dream would be to never pay any money to the IRS for someone who is looking for ways to save money on taxes where it's legal. So a lot of the CPAs that we help are selling tax plans to their clients that range from $10,000 to $50,000. Okay? Who do you sell to? High net worth individuals. That would be the answer for that one. Who do you serve? They serve high net worth individuals and high level business owners with multiple entities. Very, very specific. Does this apply to all humans? No, this is a select group of people that have complicated tax situations where there's a lot of opportunities to help save them money. So this is more than just the product and service. It includes the dream. And the dream for this person is, how can I pay the least amount in taxes? That's the dream. For Kevin, he's going to have to figure out, well, what is the dream for his clients? Maybe it's to get their message across on video because their message is so powerful and video is such a powerful method that would be the dream for that client. Or maybe the dream for them is to be on TEDx or CNN News. Well, through video and through Kevin's work, he can help accomplish that dream for the client. Who is your avatar? This, again, is your ideal client. Who are they? What do they look like? Where do they hang out? What do they like to do on the weekends? What is it that they love to do? I would love to know, who is your avatar? Can you put it in the comments below? Put them down below. I would love to see who is your ideal target audience, and then maybe I can give you some ideas that I think of on where you can go find more of them. And why do you sell what you sell? This is really important because you need to understand the why. If we don't understand the why, then it's going to be very hard to stay motivated during the challenging times. So let's just use the CPA as an example. They are selling high-level tax planning to clients that want and need to save a lot of money. And there's a lot of tricky ways, and the tax code is like 7,000 pages long. And unless you're a CPA with a lot of time on your hands and you're just going to read a bunch of stuff, you're not going to really learn a lot of this. So why do they want to sell high-level tax planning services, and what is it? So you need to know the why and then also the what. And why they do it is to save people a ton of money. Why is Kevin going to sell video services? So he can ultimately help his client get their message across because they told him they want to be on CNN, right? So whatever that is for your client, you need to figure it out, and you can do that by asking really good questions. But right now we're talking about where to even find these people. And do you know your audience? Your audience stems from your avatar. So for example, the Pitch Queen audience is for people that have been around a little while. Now, if you just started and you found me, this is for you too. But it's not my ideal client, and the audience are the people that come organically and naturally. So my audience, you're selling something kind of pricey. You don't want to sell with being sleazy, and you want to do it in an authentic way. That is my audience. So if you've got something great, people need to know about it, and you want to do it in an authentic way, I talk a lot about how you can do that because I think it's important. In addition to that, you need to love what you sell, and then I also love that the people that I get to work with end up loving the word sales. And I think a lot of times the word S-A-L-E is like a 4-letter bad word. And my goal and mission is that you end up loving it as much as I do so you can go help more people, because that's what it's about. For those of you that stop after like the first no or the first rejection that you get, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, but you're actually doing the other person a disservice, because you're already anticipating the no or you're anticipating the rejection, and then they don't even get to know about your product or your service. So we don't want to do that. How is everybody? You get some water? Amy, do we have a lot of questions today? If you guys can put your questions in the comments below, I will answer them. Also, if you want the slides, type in show in the notes below. You'll get the slides, and you will also be reminded every week when I go live, so you can put it in your calendar. All right, let's talk about broadening your taste buds. So it's also a really good idea to know who is your competition. Who are your competitors? Where do they hang out? What customers do they attract? Are there Facebook groups for people in your business, or maybe LinkedIn groups? Again, this will be about who your target audience is, and aka your avatar. And join the groups and be active and provide value. I've actually met some really cool people lately, because I am going to start bringing some guests on the show. So every other week, starting in December, you're going to get to hear a lot of these same topics, but from other people's opinions. So you guys can see, hey, was Michelle saying the right thing? Yes, I probably was. But you get to hear it from other people's perspective, and we're going to do a more conversational show, which will be super fun. So that's starting in December, hopefully December 5th, if all goes well with the technology side of things, which you all know I love. But I've met these people online, and I met them engaging in Facebook groups. So, for example, with the CPAs, if I wanted to meet more CPAs to work with, I would go on LinkedIn and start messaging a bunch of them, because I could definitely help them. But that's just one example. If Kevin wants to work with the person that wrote a book and they want to get on CNN, well, they might be at a conference on how to write a book, right? So you have to really think about, okay, who is the person that you're going after? And then maybe list out 5 things today. You can do this at home or at work or at your office. But where do they hang out? What are the competitors of them? And it's something that you should do, I would say, every 6 months. I'm actually going through this again because Sean was like, Michelle, you need to be a little bit more specific. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Sometimes we deviate off the wrong, not the wrong path, but sometimes we get too general and we need to get specific again. So really understanding your avatar and understanding your niche will help you. And I suggest revisiting this every 6 months because, you know, I'm going to revisit my website next week and see if there's a few tweaks we can put there too. All right, so that's how you can go and check out your competitors, see where they hang out, and get some good ideas. Think a latte. Amy's got the best little puns. She's so good at this. Is there a certain time of year when a lot of people want or need your product or service? I'm going to use the CPA example again. There is a certain time of year that every single person in the United States of America needs their taxes done. However, for example, the people that really need high-level tax planning, if they sell a business and make a ton of money, they have this thing called capital gains, and you pay a lot of tax on that. So there's strategies and ways on how you can reduce that. Well, depending on that, what I educate the CPAs is to try to help these clients at these certain times of year so they can benefit and help them to their dream. What is the dream of that client? The dream is not to pay any money to the IRS. So the closer we can get to that, the better it is for their clients. That was an example. So is there a location where they live or go? You have to think about that. Where do your people hang out? On the CPA front, I am going to say their location is LinkedIn, but their clients are people just around there. So let's just say like one CPA we work with. She only works with dentists. Well, is there a location where they live or go? If you work with dentists, guess what? You get to just go to all the dental conferences. You can go to all the dentists within a couple mile radius of your house. You have to think about who it is that you're working with. Now, in the online world, the location is probably going to be LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Pinterest, depending on what it is that you're selling. With my last company, Pinterest probably would have been a great place to hang out because we sold food. And food has a lot of photos, and people buy with their eyes when it comes to food, right? Like if you go to a burger shop and you see this really juicy burger, you're going to want to buy it. So it really kind of depends on what it is that you're selling. But if you're more of a service-based business and you're online, you probably are going to be on one of the online social platforms. And you know what? For the people that have a location business, a great place to check out is meetup.com. There is like a meetup for every type of industry. So for Kevin, he does things on location, right? If we're going to discuss Kevin's the film guy, film videographer, photographer, film industry, film graduate from film school. Now, Meetup would be a great resource for him to find possibly some ideal clients. Now, let's say Kevin said, actually, I want my niche to be with surfers. Well, maybe he needs to go to a meetup with surfers. Right? There's like a meetup.com has a meetup for every type of thing you could ever imagine. So check it out. It's a really great random thing that most people don't really think about. Or I think on Craigslist they have some meetups too. So you can check out different opportunities. But meetup.com, you'd be amazed at what's on there. And then, is your product or service geared towards your ideal client? We talked a little bit about this with giving away free content last week. Free content is a great way to see if your product or service is geared towards your ideal client and they really need it. Does your product or service solve their problem? Is it a good solution? You can kind of test the waters with some free content. But ultimately, you need to know, is your product or service geared towards your right person? And a good way to know is if, again, I'm working with a lot of people that have been around for a couple years. If they have sales, that means it's working. Right? But if sales flatten out, that means maybe some things in the market have shifted. And when things in the market shift, sometimes we need to pivot. And I have a great story. So yesterday on my podcast, type in the comments below. Have you guys listened to it? Success Unfiltered. I got to interview Justin from Justin's Peanut Butter. You guys know like the Justin's Peanut Butter cups you see at Starbucks, almond butter packets, hazelnut butter packets. Anyway, it was a super cool interview. I can't wait to put it out to you guys. But here's the thing. When he was selling his jars of almond butter and peanut butter in the beginning, they weren't really selling. Like for 3 years, he couldn't figure out what it is his ideal clients really wanted. And what he learned was his ideal clients were looking for portion control. And that those little packets provided portion control opportunities to his end user, which was his client. I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a genius idea, because all of the people that were doing the little squeeze packs, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? The little packets. I use them for traveling. I mean, portion control is good too, but one of those little packets is still like 220 calories or something. It's a lot of calories. And if you eat a lot of almond butter, and especially his hazelnut butter, it's kind of like dessert on a spoon, you could probably pack on like 800 calories real quick. So what he found was that the packets were really great for portion control. But he had to pivot from jars to packets, and he had to watch his customers, and his customers were at Whole Foods. So he hung out at Whole Foods, he became friends with the buyer there, and he studied how people were buying products. And again, his jars were not made for his ideal client. However, when he pivoted and figured out that the little squeeze packs were for his ideal clients, now look, he's like $1 billion company probably now. I don't know. We didn't talk about revenues, but he's been around quite a while, and they're in every Starbucks and all over the place, so I can only imagine that he's doing fairly well. But he had to make the pivot, and he had his back against the wall at times. It was pretty difficult. Any comments, questions? Type in show in the notes below if you want to get the slides. We'd be more than happy. And also you'll get a reminder about when we go live every Tuesday, because I know there's so much going on and sometimes you forget. All right, another really good thing in order to, like before you go and find your clients at Meetup or online or whatever, you got to make sure you're addicting. You need to make them want you. So a few ways to do that is have a strong brand, create ways to increase your value and worth. Ways meaning like that app I was telling you about a couple weeks ago, right? The app that tells you like the shortest way to get from destination to destination. Same thing, create different ways to create addicting products and services. And one of those key ways is free content. And we talked about it last week. So if you want, check out Coffee is for Closers, episode number 18. We'll put the link in the comments below for later if you want to go reference it and rewatch it. And know your customers' needs. So what are their problems? What do they need? It's all about them, right? It has nothing to do about you. In order to create and find the right product or service to help the client, you really need to understand their needs, or what are their problems and how are you going to fix it. So with Kevin's example, the film, if he wants to work with surfers, well, he's going to have to really understand the need to have a third-party video person, because most of these guys just have a GoPro stuck to their head or surfboard or whatever. So the need would have to be very deep if Kevin is to get any traction in that industry or market, right? So there has to be a really, really good need, or otherwise there's no solution that you can provide to the surfer that has a GoPro here, on his surfboard, on his arm. It's like he's got 3 cameras going at one time sometimes, right? So what would that need be? Maybe surfers is not the right market for Kevin if he were to go after that market. Or for Justin, understanding the needs that his clients loved almond butter and peanut butter, but they needed portion control. And the squeeze pack that he thought was for convenience for him so he could take them while he was bike riding really wasn't the need of his clients. The need was portion control. That's mind-blowing to him, he said. And I'm like, yeah, I would have never thought that. That's crazy. Stay social. You know what that means. Social media, right? You have to make sure that you're getting your message out there. And with all these algorithms, your stuff is not shown to a lot of people. So you have to post often. It's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. Start a referral program. This is my favorite thing. I love referrals. If you guys can figure out the best method for referral programs, I'm not sure if we've gone into depth on this topic, but we are going to, because referrals are your golden ticket for your future. So once you figure out who your customer is, your avatar, you found them, you went to this meetup, let's just say it's the surfer community. If you can incentivize your current clients, let's just say you give them $500 for every new client you get. That's what we do. So I'll just use that example. For every single client that gets referred to us, we will give you $500 cash for that referral. You know why? It came from a good source. They know a little bit about you. It's cheaper than doing an ad or advertising or doing any marketing to try to get them into your sales funnel or sales cycle. And there's a lot of cool things you can do for referrals. There's also a lot of cool things you can do for referrals if you have a podcast, for example. I have a podcast, and I always ask every guest if they have someone that they would want to refer. Now, I don't pay them, but for them, it's like paying it forward. Like we had a good time yesterday. It was like 35 minutes. He loved it. He spent 35 minutes of his time, not on his phone, not on his email, really giving back to all of you from his point of view and from getting through his no's and his rejections to get to his success on where he's at today. Because let me tell you, it was not an easy ride for Justin. So there always has to be something in it for the person that's referring you the business or referring me, the guest, in that example. And what's in it for them is they get to pay it forward. He loved it. He had a great time. And he knew somebody else that might want to get their message out there and help other entrepreneurs that are also dealing with no's and rejections, because As an entrepreneur, guess what? You signed up for a 24/7 sales job. I know, it's hard to fathom, but that is the truth. And, follow-up. It's next week on Coffee is for Closers. I knew we were going to talk about it this month. So follow-up is next week. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to join us next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. We're going to be discussing all follow-up techniques. And I'm going to end it with this quote. Okay? I love Seth Godin. Do you guys know who he is? If not, check it out. He's got some books and other quotes. But you don't find customers for your products. You find products for your customers. Okay? A lot of ways and cool things to do is through free content. You're going to learn what people want, what people will pay for, all of that great stuff. So I'm going to leave it with that. For those of you on Instagram, thank you so much for being here today. For those of you that were on Facebook that are no longer there, it was awesome to be here. No comments, questions? All right, you guys, no questions this week. I guess my hat looks pretty funny like this, but that's okay. So next week is all about the follow-up. So join us right here, Tuesday, 2 o'clock on Coffee is for Closers. Have an amazing week. And, go find 5 different places you can go find some of your ideal clients or your avatars, whichever one you want to call them. And rock it, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for being here. How many people showed up for real, though? Not many.
No one.
No one?
I think you got...
I had more people yesterday when I did my interview with Justin.
It didn't go above 1.